أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا والشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد فقد قال الله العظيم في محكم الكتاب الكريم وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Inshallah, I would like to begin the segment by talking about the importance of Marjaiyat and about these great scholars of ours and why that topic is important. And then inshallah we'll move on to discuss the great character of Ayotullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani, inshallah. So this topic of Marjaiyat is very important, of our great scholars who have done ijtihad, who have reached the level of Marjaiyat. Why is it important? It's because if you see that these laws, what are they doing basically? They're deriving these laws, right? They're coming forward jurisprudence, fiqh, which is one of the topics that they study, is deriving laws, Islamic laws, that me and you would not be able to derive if we did not study in this in-depth type of way. We might know of the basic things that we have to do, and we need to know these things. Our basic information about salah, we need to know these things. But the details, the in-depth analysis of all these things, you'll find through Marjaiyat, that your marja will give it to you through through fiqh, through jurisprudence, these different type of ibadats, the different rulings. For example, Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan passed. The rulings of fasting. You would have to spend many years in the hawzas of Iran, in Najaf, in Lebanon, wherever there are hawzas in the world, to study about these rulings, to learn how to follow this, command of fasting that Allah has sent to us, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's told us that we have to fast, but we need to know the rulings. How? By looking at the laws of Islam. To look at these laws and to, discern, to understand, to read, and to examine and analyze, so that me and you can understand how to follow this, religion, this deen of ours, completely and properly. This is what Marjaiyat is doing. This is what our Marajih are doing for us. They're making, basically, if you would say in layman's term or quote unquote, life easier for me and you. They're making it so that they're doing the struggle, so that even though we know that these things are there, we need to follow the commands of Allah. They are doing that ijtihad. They are struggling, analyzing, learning about these rules, so that we can learn how to follow the religion properly, follow the deen properly. That's why it is important. That's why Marjaiyat is important. Just like you see lawyers, in your in America and Canada and North America and anywhere in the world, you see lawyers. They study law. They're looking. We all know the rules of our countries, but when you get in some problem, when you get in some trouble, you go to your lawyer, to help you with a problem, because they have studied the law, right? They have understood the law. They have studied certain things that you wouldn't be able to defend yourself. For example, if you hire a lawyer for some case, I need to defend myself, you wouldn't be able to defend yourself. So you go to this person who has studied, who has an expertise, in this area, who's an expert in this area of law, in the Canadian law, American law, wherever, so that they can help you in a tough situation, if you get in a situation where you need their help. The same thing, if you look at Marajah, what are they doing? They're studying these laws and different, fiqh, usul, different subjects that they study, so that, we don't have to get into that tough situation where we don't know what to do now. How do we follow the laws of Allah? No, there's risalas, there's books, that are there, so that you can follow your Marajah, and that you can learn how to do these ahkam of the religion, these pillars of the religion, the steps of the religion correctly, and follow the laws correctly, so we can gain closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. So, and you know what breaks the heart and what makes you kind of upset is that despite their efforts, despite the trials, tribulations, hard work, hard times that these grand, very esteemed Ayatullahs, Marajas of ours have to go through, all these trials and tribulations, what do we do at the end with them? We attack them, we slander them. You see in the community, there's so many people who don't respect them, which is a problem, right? It's something I wanted to say on Youth Corner, is that we should not do that to our Ayatullahs, our Marajah who have studied, our scholars, our esteemed scholars who study so much so that the deen can come to us. We shouldn't be, looking, undermining them, not showing the value that they deserve by doing gossip about them. These things are wrong. That's not the value of Marjaiyat. Value of Marjaiyat is we should know why it is important. And today's personality who we talk about, Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani, through his personality we'll see why it is so important and why we should, understand their maqam, understand their rank, and why they are important in our daily lives. And why we need these Marajah who are basically bringing on the message of the Imams and the Aima and all those, holy personalities, alayhi salatu wassalam, who have left us. Now these personalities who are here, these Marajih scholars of ours, are bringing that religion to you. So I believe there shouldn't be any, hatred towards these personalities. We should all have a kind, and we should always make dua. We should always do, dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He keeps these personalities safe, inshallah, and keeps their, their grace and their person remains with us forever, inshallah. Today's personality is AbulHasan al-Asfahani, the Grand Ayatullah. This personality is very important because when you look at the time that he becomes an Ayatullah, AbulHasan al-Asfahani, is very important because there was two great Ayatullahs at that time. You had Ayatullah Naini and Ayatullah Muhammad Taqi Shirazi. These two Ayatullahs, after they pass away, now the new symbol and the new leader for Shi'ism and for the religion of Islam and for the fiqh of the Ithna Asharis is who now? It is this personality of Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani. This Ayatullah, after Ayatullah Naini specifically passes away, you have Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani. He is now the symbol, as you see, the main leader for Shi'ism in the world of Islam now. He is bringing on this message of the Ahlul Bayt, these laws, these different aspects that he dealt with, and he is the sole leader there now for the whole world of Shi'ism. Now you see, now there's Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani. We'll talk about, inshallah, I will be discussing two very important stories that occur in his life, and one message that Ayatullah Muhammad Hussain Kashif al-Ghita, very important personality, just like Ayatullah Naini and Ayatullah Muhammad Taqi Shirazi. Ayatullah Muhammad Hussain Kashif al-Ghita, I will discuss the message. You look at the message he leaves when Ayatullah Isfahani passed away. It's a very important message, and inshallah we can learn something from it. So how can we learn from the character of Ayatullah Asfahani? What is so important about this Ayatullah that should shake your being as it is, to awaken you? What is so important about this Ayatullah? What is the character, the morale, and what is important about this Ayatullah? You see that one story I would like to share is that during the time of this Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani, the Britain's, during the time of World War II, Britain's foreign minister, so basically the foreign secretary, foreign minister of the United Kingdom, Britain, he comes during the World War II, he comes to Iraq, and he comes to see, how the country of Iraq is running, and he comes to visit Iraq, and he wants to see it. He goes and he sits down with the Iraqi government, and he asks them a question. This is Britain during the time of World War II. This is Britain's foreign secretary. He asked the government of Iraq. He asks, so what religion is prominently followed here? They reply that it is the followers of the Ahlul Bayt, the Ithna Ashari Shias, that is followed in this country of Iraq. He says, okay, well and good. But then they tell him that this now they start to explain to him that this is the sect that is followed. But there's an important figure of this sect right now, and his name is AbulHasan al-Asfahani, and he lives in Najaf, and this is where he bases his whole system is based out of there. His study, his schools and everything. This great person, he is there. You should go and see it. So now this man, the Secretary of Britain, he goes during the time again of World War II. He's here in Iraq now, and he goes to visit Ayotullah AbulHasan Asfahani, and he goes to his house. And during those times, and even when you look at our Marjaiyat today in Iraq, they have very small houses, nothing luxurious, nothing grand. They live in very humble lives, very humble settings. And what is very important is that now you see that the Ayatollah is sitting there. He sees that the secretary comes in, foreign secretary, and he invites him to have a conversation. The Ayatollah bows his head. He keeps his head down, listening to the conversation that the foreign minister has to make. And the foreign minister says that, I talked with the Iraqi government, and he says, I know your situation and how you guys, you need money. You're not that well off. I can see here in the town of Najaf, you guys aren't well off. You seem like you need some money, some help, some aid. I can provide you financial aid. He says this to the Ayatollah. Let me provide you some support. And he sees, now look at the response of Ayatollah AbulHasan Asfahani. And look at this is the maqam, this is the rank, this is the station of Marjaiyat. This is the power of Marjaiyat. Look at his response. You have a foreign secretary, minister sitting in front of you, and he's telling you, you don't have a lot of money, I'll give you money. Basically buying you off. That, take my money, I'll support you, I'll support your people. Remember what I said in the beginning. Ayatollah AbulHasan al-Asfahani is basically the only symbol, the beacon of Shiism and Marjaiyat at that time now. Ayatollah Naini has passed away. Now it's him. Look at his response to the minister. What does he say to the secretary? The secretary of the foreign minister. He says, he has his head bowed. He raises it. The Ayatollah says that I've heard, and I know that you are in the state of war right now. This is during World War II. And look at the response. He says, I know you're in the state of war. He says to the Britain foreign minister. He says, how about I aid you in any way that I can? Look at the strength of Marjaiyat. The man is trying to buy you off, as you'd say in layman terms. He's trying to pay you off, but he says, no. This is what the maktab of the followers of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam is. We don't take your money. We will provide you support if you need it. If you think I'm so not well off, he shows the power of Marjaiyat. He shows the power of being the one who is on the path of Muhammad wa Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. He says, I'm not poor. It's not that I don't have money. This is my path. I'll show you. I can provide you aid. I would like you to ponder upon that. Now when you get time to listen to this, that, an Ayatullah is responding, showing you the power of Marjaiyat. That this is the power that we have. We'll help you, he says to the British. This story kind of awakens you and shows you that even regardless of the situation that the Ayatullah is in, he knows where is he in front of the haram of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. He's in front of this Imam of ours, and he needs to show that we have the power through this belief. And the system of knowledge that Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani has spread during that time is amazing. When you read about it, inshallah, read and ponder upon this. That you'll look at the life of this grand Ayatullah and you'll see how knowledge was spread, how different works were spread, and how he had such an impact that he's saying to this foreign minister that no, we'll help you, you don't have to help us. Another important story, it's just kind of sad when you think about it. The story is about the Ayatullah that one day a man comes to Ayatullah and he says that I would like to get married but I don't have enough money. Would you be able to provide me anything? The Ayatullah tells him, come back tomorrow, I'll provide you the money. And this is when you go and read the life of Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani, you'll find out that his son was murdered during his salah by the people who were against the Ayatullah, and may Allah give a high rank to his son inshallah in Jannah. But they murdered the Sayyid's son in his salah, and you see that now imagine your son has been murdered. This is the second story. You tell the man come back the next day, but the next day your son gets murdered, and you need to give the man money so he can get married. This is the power of Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani. He says that come back the next day. Now the next day his son is murdered, and he is reading his son's janazah in the holy city of Najaf in front of Amir al-Mu'mineen's haram. And the people at that time said, like, they thought that the Ayatullah was, there's something going on with Ayatullah. He looked very worried, very scared. He was looking for someone. He kept looking around. He remembers that he has a amana, a promise, that I have to give this man the money. This poor man who came to me, I have to give him money for his wedding. My son has been murdered, but he's still worried about that man. He's living in the city of Najaf, where the Imam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, your holy Imam, would always care for the orphans, regardless of what was happening in his holy life, to his holy progeny. So you see this Ayatullah of ours, AbulHasan al-Asfahani, has done the prayer. His son's janazah was murdered coldly in his salah, and he went back to Allah in his salah, and you see that now the Ayatullah is looking for the man. Then he sees one man and he recognizes this is the man who came up to me. He says, do you remember me? The man responds, yes, I came up to you yesterday for money. He gives condolences about his son, and the Ayatullah says, here's the gold that I was going to give you for your wedding. Now imagine what kind of Marjaiyat we had and how we have today, that they are willing to do this. Even after reciting your son's janazah, he is giving away gold that he promised to the man because you're trying to get married. This is who Ayatullah AbulHasan Asfahani is. This is his moral, this is his etiquette, this is his character. That he's lost a son, but what is he? He's a follower of the Imams, right? And he has achieved such a level through the grace of Allah by having this moral character that Allah has given him this. This is the moral and character that you have, that people will remember you like this. We're remembering today in 2020 this Ayatullah AbulHasan Asfahani, that these two stories, inshallah, the one about his power that you can learn from how he dealt with the minister, and then look at his humbleness, and look how his character, his nobleness, how noble he was. When he loses a son, he's willing to do these things. Those are two stories, inshallah. And now I'd like to talk about a book that's very important from Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani's life, that is called Wasila Najah. Is a book on jurisprudence. Even our grand Ayatullahs of the past and many today will still look at this book of Wasila Najah. You can even look it up in your homes when you go. And this book is very important because it is of jurisprudence, of fiqh, which many of the scholars look at. Such as Ayatullah Khomeini, if you look at his life as a Marjaiyat, he also looked at the life of AbulHasan Asfahani, and he looked at this Wasila Najah, this book, and how important it was. And they would do decisions, they would do, they would put footnotes, and they would discuss this book. So this is a very important book from his life. So we discuss the stories, the book, and inshallah, you want to see when he dies, his demise, his death. Like I told you, Ayatullah Muhammad Hussain Kashif al-Ghita, a very important scholar, he leaves a very important message for Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani. He says to him when he hears of his death, he says, congratulations to you. The ascensions to your Lord you made had a felicitous life and death. You had an amazing life and death. Your life was joined with management. You managed your life. You had greatness in your life. And you made people... and by making people through it forget the past great, forget the past great ones. Those great, your life, Ayatullah Kashif al-Ghita is saying to Ayatullah AbulHasan Asfahani that your life was so amazing that you made the people forget about the great ones before you, because of your management, because of your greatness, because of your ibadah to Allah. And then he says, you were also born twice. This is very important. Inshallah we'll end here. That he tells us about Ayatullah AbulHasan Asfahani, Ayatullah Muhammad Hussain Kashif al-Ghita is saying this about him, that you were born twice. Why? You might ask me, why is Ayatullah Kashif al-Ghita saying this? He says because once you earned experience and knowledge, and once you acted upon what you had earned. So once you earned the knowledge, you did the ijtihad, like I said, you did the study, like I said in the beginning, why Marjaiyat is very important, and why this character of Ayatullah AbulHasan al-Asfahani is very important, is because Ayatullah Kashif al-Ghita tells you. He says that you were born twice because you acted upon it. You can see acted upon it how? Through his nobleness, through his bravery, towards showing kindness to people. And how did he learn? He did the ijtihad, he studied, he strove, He strived towards these things so he could learn these things, gain the knowledge and experience. And then Ayatullah Kashif al-Ghita says to AbulHasan al-Asfahani that you acted upon it. And for surely, through the two stories, inshallah, I hope you learned something about his life, about, remember the book that was very important. That's how you see that there was experience and knowledge, is the book of Wasail al-Najah. And you can see that, how did he act upon it? His son is killed in his salah, and he's giving away the money that he knows he has to give to the man that he promised. That is him acting upon it. Wasail al-Najah again is his knowledge. Acting upon his knowledge is doing these stories that we discussed. This Ayatullah Kashif al-Ghita saying this about Ayatullah AbulHasan Asfahani is very important for us to remember these great Ayatullahs, inshallah. And then he ends off by saying, hey, may Allah have mercy on his soul. He was characterized by good attributes, good characteristics, and his pure soul inspired me to be firm and steadfast for the sake of Allah. He says that he surpassed his peers in managing the affairs. His administration was the best. His knowledge was the best. He was generous. He was an orator. He could talk. And he made his classes the most busy and popular amongst the ones offered in the holy city of Najaf. In the Hawza al-Miyah of Najaf, Ayatullah Kashif al-Ghita is saying this about AbulHasan Asfahani, that he made his Hawza sessions the best and his knowledge was the best in the city of Najaf. Inshallah, we would like to end with this to show you that the personality of Ayatullah AbulHasan Asfahani is so important, that these great Ayatullahs before him are showing you that his knowledge, his teaching, his classes were the best, as you saw through not my words, but the words of Kashif al-Ghita. Allah maqam. We ask Allah that He gives him all of these Ayatullahs, or these Mirajas of ours, the greatest maqams in his station, in his abode. And you see that, inshallah, to end, I'd like to thank again the team at Youth Corner and everybody in the production team, everybody putting this program together, that they helped us understand the personality of Ayatullah, the grand Ayatullah, AbulHasan al-Asfahani, and how, through the words of Ayatullah Muhammad Hussain Kashif al-Ghita, you can understand, and through the stories we discussed, how important his personality was and how it can affect everybody's lives today also. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.